Why are you here today? We're talking about marketing yourself, networking, and articulating your value. Why are you here and what do you want to get out of today? Because the more that I can tailor this to you in the room, the more specific that it's going to be to you. So pop that in the chat. And really the purpose of today is, marketing it's a hot topic, right? Marketing, networking, articulating your value, it's a hot topic. And we live in this world where information is at our fingertips, right? We can type into Google marketing and get all the tips, get all the strategies, get all the things right at our fingertips. However, here's the problem is if we want shift to happen, if we want change to happen, it's less about the information that we know, and it's more about shifting our perspective. So my goal throughout the remaining 45, 50 minutes that I'm going to be talking about marketing yourself, it's really about shifting the way that you see marketing yourself, the way that you think about marketing yourself. So that way you can have a breakthrough in the way that you approach marketing yourself. Because reality is, if we keep doing what we've always done, we're going to get the same results. So what we want to do today is really start to shift the way that you market yourself, the way that you show up, the way that you're networking, the way that you have or haven't been articulating your value. So that way you can get breakthrough results after this call. So I'm going to read from the chat, trying to find ways to market myself and my organization in a unique way. Fantastic. We're going to be going into that for sure. Trying to find new ways to update marketing myself. Fantastic. So really quick, let me dive into a little bit more background, because you're probably wondering, okay, who is this woman, Corinne? What is this NLP? What is this successology coach that Sophia had mentioned? And full transparency, I'm someone that very, very much appreciates transparency and honesty. And full transparency, I have no background in marketing. Now, before you leave the Zoom, before you say this was an absolute waste of time, I promise you, I have a very, very extensive experience when it comes to marketing yourself and when it comes to networking and when it comes to articulating your value. I have a lot of personal experience and also professionally. That term that Sophia had used, NLP, stands for Neuro-Linguistics Programming. So I am trained and certified in the science of the mind and the way in which we communicate and the way in which we can influentially sell, communicate, and really articulate our values in ways that your prospective clients, your coworkers, your spouses, whoever it is that you're wanting to influence, I teach the science behind effectively communicating. So let me back up really quick. You heard me say a moment ago that I don't have a background in marketing. However, I have extensive experience in marketing myself. See, in 2018, I had left a very successful corporate career to take the leap into the unknown, and I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I was a certified financial planner at the time. I had been working for Merrill Lynch, and I built my career. People knew me based off of being a financial planner and this career that I built for myself. So naturally, when I left, people had known me for that. Well, in 2018, when I left, I really started to pour into personal development because I recognized that I'm the common denominator in my life, just like every single one of you are the common denominator in your life. And if I wanted to create the success that I wanted in my life, I was going to need to have to do some shifting and have to do some changing. And at the same time, I wanted to get really, really good at sales because let's be real, everything we do is sales. In my trainings, I always ask people, are you in sales? And some people will say no. Well, reality is we're always in sales. We're even selling ourselves, right? You sold yourself to come on the Zoom today. The people who registered and aren't on the Zoom sold themselves to not come onto the Zoom, even though they registered. So we are constantly in sales. So I wanted to get really good at sales because no matter what you do, sales is going to follow you, right? However, I had nothing to sell, no one to sell to, and zero sales experience. So good luck, right? You're going to do awesome. I ended up tripping over the training that I now deliver. And it shifted my life so much that at the end of 2019, I decided that I wanted to take these tools and I wanted to give them to business professionals who not only wanted to create more success in their life, but really wanted to transform the way that they did business, really wanted to be of service to their clients, and really wanted to not only be of service to their clients, we're out to make a difference in the world. So that's what I did in 2020. So I launched a company that does live in-person trainings during 2020, the absolute perfect year to have live in-person trainings if anybody ever asks. Now, here's the thing. I did a lot of pivoting. I did a lot of adjusting, a lot of evolving. And the thing is, nobody knew me as an NLP coach, as a trainer. Nobody even knew what I was up to. So I had to get really, really good at marketing myself. I had to get really, really good at articulating my value to be able to communicate to my prospective clients the value that they were going to get from aligning with me. And because of the tools that I teach and some of the tools that I'm going to be giving all of you today, within 18 months, I had a six-figure company, now have a multiple six-figure company, had a six-figure business all through, I would say 99% of my business came through networking. It came through marketing myself and it came through articulating my value, all because of really the tools that I had learned and adopt, and also some ups and downs. I would love to say that it was a really smooth ride. It wasn't. I had failed. I had done things incorrectly. I had to learn. I had to evolve. And that's why during this time today, I'm going to share with you some of the mistakes that I made so that way you can do something differently. Because when we do something differently, that's when we get different results. Now, you heard me say that this is going to be a transformational way in which that you approach marketing, a way that you approach marketing yourself and also articulating your value. You know, the biggest problem that people fall into when it comes to marketing ourselves is a paradox that I'm going to be talking about in just a couple slides. People get caught up in this paradox, and because of that, it keeps them from having the business that they want to have, selling to the people that they know without a shadow of a doubt that they can help. It keeps people from getting raises if you're in the corporate world. It keeps people from negotiating effectively. So we're going to bust through this paradox so that way you can start getting different results. Now, let's talk a little bit about marketing before we go into that. So when it comes to marketing, there are two key words that personally come to mind for me, and that's awareness and influence. So the very first thing that we need, let's just say, for example, that you want to buy a new pair of shoes, okay? I'm not sure what your product or service is, or I'm not sure what your career is. However, let's just say you're like, you know what? I want to get some new kicks. I want to get some new shoes. Well, are you able to buy shoes that you don't know that are out there? No. You need to buy shoes that you're aware of, right? Sure, you can go on to Amazon, you can go on to Costco, you can go on to wherever, even just Google and type in running shoes or whatever type of shoes that you want. However, if you don't know the shoes exist, you're unable to buy them. So marketing really is about awareness. It's about getting in front of your prospective clients. It's about getting in front of your people so that way they know that you're there, right? If they don't know that you're there, they're not going to be able to do business with you. They're not going to be able to get the product or service that you deliver and have that transformation or have those results. So the very first key to marketing is awareness. Now, so many people, so many entrepreneurs, so many business professionals fall into the mindset of build it and they will come. It's almost like I want to launch a pizza restaurant. and I'm just going to turn the open sign and not let anybody know that I'm here. I'm just going to turn on the open sign. All right, all the customers come in, right? And then what happens? There's crickets, right? Because nobody knows, other than the people that are driving by the pizza shop, the new pizza shop, nobody really knows that it's there. So many people adopt the build it and they will come mindset, and it keeps people with dry pipelines. It keeps people frustrated that they're not getting the business that they want to get. Or in the context of, if you are in the corporate space and you're wanting to, let's just say, get a promotion or whatever, or negotiate your salary, if your leadership team doesn't know and isn't aware of what you bring to the table, of what you can provide them, how are they ever going to be able to move you up or have that conversation? So it's really, really important that we recognize that awareness is the very first key. People don't know what they don't know when it comes to you and your services. And it's our responsibility to show up so that way they can see us. So that way they can actually hear what it is that we do and feel that connection before they ever do business with us. So when it comes to marketing yourself, people need to know where you are, who you are, and what it is that you do, right? That's the very first thing. So we can't be hiding under a rock in the context of networking, right? We need to meet new people. We need to be aware. We need to be present. I see and hear so many people that say, oh, I go to so many networking events. I do all of the things, right? Well, are either your prospective clients or the people that you need to connect with and want to connect with, are they even aware that you're there? That's the first step. So awareness is the first step. The second one is influence. When it comes to marketing, you want to influence someone, right? That's the whole goal with marketing. And in that influence, what you're doing is you want to shift their perspective. You want to teach them things, bring to their awareness some things that they didn't know that you can solve for them. We're going to really be diving into this influence piece because, let's be real, the awareness side of things, that's relatively easy, right? I say relatively easy because there are a lot of different ways in which you can market yourself and become aware to your prospective clients. This influence part, though, this is really the meat and potatoes, because people can know that you're there. However, if you don't influence them into becoming aware of the value that you bring to them, then no matter what, they're not really going to want to do business with you, or they won't really move forward, or you won't get the pay jump, or you won't get the salary increase, right? So this influence part is where we are really going to focus on. Now, I mentioned a paradox. The biggest problem that I see and hear so many people fall into when it comes to marketing themselves is they focus on themselves. Here's the thing. We love to buy. People love to buy. I'm sure you could drive up your street or walk around your block and see all the Amazon packages at the front step, right? People love to buy. However, people don't like being sold to. So the question becomes, how can you market yourself in a way that's authentic, in integrity with yourself, and also communicate in a way that you speak into the other person's listening? Because at the end of the day, if we're going to influence someone to do something, they need to see the benefit for them. They need to hear what the value is for them. So the paradox is that you'll get more of what you want in life when you focus on others. That's it. You'll get more of what you want in life when you focus on others. Whether it's increasing your sales, whether it's getting that pay jump, whether it's getting your spouse to go to your favorite restaurant, whatever it is that you're wanting to influence someone. If it's getting your kids to even eat vegetables, the vegetable that they hate, right? The thing is that when it comes to marketing yourself, networking, and articulating your value, it's about you. and it isn't about you at the same time. So you'll get more of what you want in life when you focus on others, when they get that you get the value that you bring to the table for them. When you take off your mindset and you put on their mindset, when you step into their map of the world and communicate into their listening, that's when they're going to see that you have a product or solution that can help them. Unfortunately, so many people unintentionally show up and communicate in a way that's from their map of the world. And because of that, your people won't see or hear what it is that you deliver, because you're communicating in a way that's from your map of the world and your style. So what we want to do when it comes to marketing yourself is you want to still show up in integrity and authentic, 100%. You always want to show up in an authentic way. And also we want to adapt our communication. We want to shift our perspective and communicate in a way that's going to land for others. Otherwise, what happens is you'll have people who you can help that will move forward with someone else. You won't get your kids to eat the vegetables that you know are going to help them or that they need to eat, or whatever it is. Somebody else will get that promotion when you know without a shadow of a doubt that it's you that needs that promotion and wants that promotion, and actually would probably do a better job in that seat. So this is the paradox that we're really going to be diving into, because the more that you can step back, focus on others, you're going to end up getting more of what you want in life, no matter what it is. So here's what we're going to do. The question is, what can you do to market yourself and articulate your value in a way that feels in integrity and authentic? So that way you can have more people saying yes to you. You can have happier clients and networks, feel confident in what you deliver, and of course, so much more. I love this picture because what we would love is you standing in the middle of the street, why not, popping champagne because you're so happy that so many people are saying yes to you, that you have so many clients asking to do business with you. I mean, seriously, what would your business be like if you had more people asking to do business with you? If you had more people giving you referrals, and more people saying yes to what it is that you deliver, and also delivering it in a very confident way. The philosophy that I follow is win, win, win. You heard me say that you want to show up and articulate your value in a way that's in integrity and authentic to you. I show up in a space of a win, win, win. And what I mean by that is it needs to be a win for the other person before it's ever a win for me. And then it also needs to be a win for the environment. So when we're talking about shifting our communication, when we're talking about, speaking into people's listening, it's really about just shifting the way in which that we approach the conversation. It's never about articulating your way in a way that's out of integrity and inauthentic to you. Not at all. Because if we're delivering something that is inauthentic, it'll never work. So this is about how can you, in integrity, authentically deliver what it is that you have to offer, and also communicate in a way that people are going to want to listen. They're going to actually hear you and see what it is that you bring to the table. So that way they end up doing more business with you, having happier clients, so on and so forth. So let's dive in to what it is that you can do. The first one that we're going to talk about is, quite honestly, the most overlooked. And also, it is the absolute most important. You all heard me a little while ago talk about that I'm trained and certified in neuro-linguistics programming, and the training that I deliver is teaching people the science behind success. And I'm sure a majority of you know that success is 95% mindset and 5% skill set. So this 95% mindset is absolutely crucial. And this next slide that I'm going to share with you, so often when we talk about this, people think that it's fluff. They think that they've heard it before, they already know, they do all of the things, right? They're in the I already know this mindset. However, I promise you that if and when you take this to heart, when you truly, truly take this information, adopt it, step into it, and speak from it, it will completely transform your business, your life, and so much. So the first part is belief. When we talk about marketing yourself, what comes up for you? Some people find it really easy to market themselves, right? They love to be the center of attention. They want to be up front on stage. They want to tell people what it is that they do, and it's easy for them. Naturally, for me, I'm an introvert. So learning to market myself, getting up on stages, doing speaking things, it was something for me to learn. I am naturally an introvert, and I needed to learn how to step in and believe in myself to be able to deliver confidently. So when it comes to our mindset, we have this part of our mind that runs our life. It actually runs 90% of our life. And it's the things that are going on behind the scenes. It's the things that we don't know, the things that we can't see, that are actually running the show. So if there is some type of hesitation, if there's some type of questioning of the value that you bring to the table, wondering, can I really give these people the results that I say that I can? Can I really perform in this promotion? Can I really do this? Are people really going to pay for this service? If all of that inner critic, or as my mentor likes to call it, the itty bitty shitty committee, if all of that is going on in our head unconsciously, what happens is that's what comes up. See, the way that we see ourselves has a huge effect on the way that we show up in the world. Our internal programming, that internal dialogue, it affects our thoughts, which affects our behavior, which affects our results. So if we're unconsciously believing that we don't have what it takes, I don't know what I'm doing, I can't do this, so-and-so isn't going to buy this, if that's unconsciously underneath the surface, then that's what's going to be projected. And that's what happens when they can't really make sense of the results that they're getting, right? Because we can't see it. It's really hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. So you need to and get to know without a shadow of a doubt the value that you bring to the table. What is it that you offer? So many people choose to focus on the things that they don't do well. People love to be hard on themselves. I was just having a conversation the other day with a client of mine. She said, I don't see myself as a business owner. Well, guess what? Because she believed that she wasn't a business owner, she would look for justification in her life to feel that she wasn't like a business owner. So then guess how she would deliver her commercials? Lacking confidence, questioning, just above a whisper. And her prospective clients in the room, or her referral partners in the room, your prospective clients, your referral partners want to do business with someone who knows, who truly, truly believes that they can deliver what it is that they offer. I mean, if you're going to be buying a product or service from someone, do you want to be buying from someone who doesn't really know what they're doing, or they're kind of unsure? No, right? So this is where you get to do some, pun intended, some mirror work. And really step back and ask yourself, what do you bring to the table? What are your strengths? Because when you focus on your strengths, what you focus on grows. You're going to begin to create more of it. So the more that you believe in yourself, the more that you step into that confidence and you deliver from that confidence, people are going to be able to see it. They're going to be able to feel it. Because here's the thing. When it comes to communication, guess what? Communication is only 7% words. That's it. It's only 7% words. That means 93% of the way that you communicate is actually how you communicate it and who you're being, much less what you're saying. I work with a lot of real estate agents, and real estate agents tend to, not all, most of them, tend to love the scripts, right? The sales scripts. Well, here's the thing, those sales scripts lock you into communicating in just a specific way when communication is only 7% words, you guys. Who you're being, the way that you're delivering something is so much more important. That's why I said this belief part is absolutely crucial, because when you believe in yourself, when you fully step into that confidence and you deliver from that, it matters what you say. However, it matters much less when you deliver from a space of confidence. So it's really, really important to make sure that you know the value that you bring to the table. If you're someone that struggles with this, sit down and ask yourself what your strengths are. Ask the people around you what your strengths are. So that way you can see some things that maybe you didn't see before. And this made me think the other day, I was watching Shark Tank. Anybody here watch Shark Tank? I personally love Shark Tank. And this kid walked in, this kid and this dad, and automatically the sharks thought that the dad was going to be doing the presentation, right? And all of a sudden, this kid who probably was just above the age of 10, 11, he was very young, starts delivering this pitch. And this pitch is fantastic. And all of the sharks are shocked by the delivery of this young boy. And as they're going through the pitch, he is rapid firing these answers to the questions that the sharks have. And he's even turning around when a shark delivers a question, he turns around and delivers another question. This kid was so freaking sharp. Do you know how many people at that age would sit there and say, because I'm so young, because I'm this, because I'm new, I can't do this, or whatever it is? How often do we do that to ourselves? This kid ended up winning over one of the sharks because of his delivery. It didn't matter how old he was, all because of his delivery. So make sure that you are really stepping into that business professional, that entrepreneur, the executive, whatever it is that you do. Really make sure that you're stepping into your power and you're delivering from that. Because no matter what it is that you're selling, no matter who it is that you're communicating to, what's going on beneath the surface is going to have a much bigger effect than the words that you're saying. And reality is you have what it takes, because if you can see it, you have everything within you to make it possible. It's just about extracting it. So the first thing is always going to be belief. The second thing, so when it comes to being memorable, right? So many people want to be memorable. We want to go to networking events. We want to be memorable by our coworkers. We want to go into an interview and we want to be memorable, right? So if you want to be memorable, you got to remember this. Maya Angelou said it beautifully. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. So the question becomes, what can you do in the context of marketing yourself? What can you do to be able to communicate in a way that people feel important? Here's the thing. Every single person wants to feel like the most important person in the world. You guys know why? Because in their world, guess what? They are the most important person. We are the most important person in our world, even biologically, right? Our brain needs to care about ourselves. So we are the most important person in the world. And people want to feel important. So what are you doing in the context of marketing yourself, articulating your value, to be able to communicate in a way that these people feel important? Your prospective clients, they have problems. And guess what? They really, really, really care about their problems. Your referral partners, they have problems and they really, really, really care about their problems. We tend to really, really care about our problems. And your people will care about your solution when you care about their problems and when they get that you get their problems. So many people show up and a lot of people do this out of love. I know that they do. And I know that we've all been here, right? I promise I've been here before. They throw out the solution. They say, here's my product or service. Here's the solution. Here's the answer. Take it, right? Run with it. Buy what it is that I'm selling. But here's the problem. People care about their problem. And they only care about your solution to the level and the extent that they get that it will solve their problem. So if we keep coming to them with, here's a solution, and we lack communicating into their problem, we're not going to be memorable because we're going to be another thing that's being sold to them. Anybody here being sold to a lot lately between all the marketing, right? The Facebook messages, right? We get it all the time. We're bombarded all the time. And here's the thing, your people care about their problems on some level to the value that you bring to them is dependent on the problem that you help solve for them. So if you want to be memorable, that means communicating into people's problems. So often at networking events, people want to show up to pass out the business card, right? They want to get business. That's why we're networking, right? However, here's the thing, going back to that paradox, right? You'll get more of what you want in life when you focus on others. What would happen if instead of posturing in a way of having a solution, you postured in a way that asked them about their problems? What if you got really, really curious about your people's problems and then communicated in a way that you got their problem and then presented the solution to them? Because then guess what? They get that you get their problems. And when you get their problems, you can help them solve it, right? So if you want to be memorable, step back and ask yourself, what are the problems that you solve? What are the problems that your prospective clients have? What are the problems that your referral partners have? And then what can you do to communicate into those problems to be a problem solver? I know that every single one of you here has a solution to problems that you see. However, maybe instead of showing up and marketing ourselves in a way that presents the solution, maybe instead we communicate in a way that speaks into the problems. So that way our people actually get that we can help them. They actually see us as a solution provider, because this is what's going to lead to happier clients. This is what's going to lead to more people saying yes to you. Now you're sitting there hearing me talk about, speaking into people's problems, communicating in a way that they can hear you and actually see you. And you're probably wondering, okay, how do we do that, right? So now that we get that your value on some level to someone else is dependent on their problems and dependent on the level that you solve their problems, right? The question becomes, what can you do to articulate your value in a way that speaks into their problems? So let's talk about it, okay? This is going to be a slide that you'll most likely want to take a picture of, or a slide that you'll most likely want to take a screenshot of, okay? So this is a way in which you can communicate your value. This is a framework, a way in which that you can communicate your value based off of someone's problem, your prospective clients. I'm just going to use the context of prospective client for right now, of your prospective clients' problems, okay? Now, this is a framework. Avoid making this a rigid framework, okay? So, communicating your value, communicating a commercial in 20 seconds or less. Here's the framework. For segment who have some problem, we make some product or service so they can do really rad stuff. Let me give you an example. For business owners who aren't hitting the level of success that they desire, we teach them the mindset and skill set behind success so that way they can do rad stuff. Now, I would probably avoid using the do rad stuff. I'd probably say something like, so that way they can scale their business, grow their business, whatever the value is to them, right? So what I would love for you to do right now is come up with yours. Come up with yours and put it in the chat. Reality is we have 32 people on this call. You might have some either prospective clients in here, or you might have some referral partners. So come up with what yours is. I was thinking about one of my ideal mentors is Sarah Blakely. So for women who want to look super sexy in that tight dress, we make Spanx. So that way they can look super sexy, feel super sexy, and go to that fun event feeling confident and unstoppable. That's just an example, right? You want to make sure that you have fun with it. So come up with what your segment is. And this is perfect to deliver to someone at a networking event when they say, hey, what is it that you do? What you're doing here is you're communicating into the problem that you solve. Now, you heard me say, avoid having this be a rigid framework. Okay. We want to embrace flexibility. I talk about this all the time in my trainings. Flexibility. The most flexible person in the situation controls the situation. If you don't believe me, go to Target, go to the toy aisle, and sit there and listen to all the kids who negotiate and are extremely flexible with their parents so that way they can get all the toys that they want. Kids are extremely flexible and they always control the situation. So the most flexible person in the situation controls the situation. You might be wondering, what do I mean by that? Okay. If let's just say, for example, if I'm delivering this to a CEO, I'm probably going to talk about the bottom line or talk about time, because a CEO tends to value the bottom line and their time. If I'm talking to an HR representative, they probably value employee engagement, retention, right? So that's what I'm going to communicate into. Now, if I'm talking to the CEO's little kid and I want to pitch them, I'm going to talk about how mom or dad is going to be home more. They can go to all your baseball games, soccer games, whatever it is, right? Do you hear how I'm flexible in my approach? I can still deliver the value that I bring to the table. However, I'm flexible. I'm still authentic and in integrity with what it is that I do and what it is that I deliver. It's just that I'm speaking into the problem and speaking into the value of the other person. So many people get stuck and they pigeonhole themselves because they lack flexibility. When you can embrace flexibility, and no matter which person you're talking to, adapt and respond and communicate in a way that's valuable to that person, you're going to recognize that you can help so many more people simply because you are being flexible and you're meeting them where they're at to help take them where they want to go, rather than communicating in a way that is very rigid and very strict. Okay, so always, always, always make sure that you embrace flexibility. This is really how we meet our prospective clients where they're at to help take them where they want to go. The next thing, networking. So anybody here ever go to a networking event and it's almost like you just collected business cards? I've been there. I mean, let's be real. We've all also been there before. We just wanted to pass out our business card. It looks so good, right? Just take the business card. We've all been there before. We've either experienced or we've been there, right? And what tends to happen is people embrace this idea of net selling rather than networking. So let's ditch the mindset of let's see how many business cards I can pass out. Your business cards are valid. They are, okay? Let's make sure that we're handing them to people, though, that want them and that will use them. So what we want to do when it comes to networking is you want to make your network work for you. So it's less about selling to the room. Anybody here come here to buy anything? Yeah, no. Crickets, right? When we go to a networking event, do we want to buy anything? Usually not. Might end up happening. So none of us want to be sold to. However, we have problems, and also we have clients who have problems. So what you want to do is you want to sell through the room. You never want to sell to the room. Okay. And the biggest way that you can have your network work for you is by embracing curiosity. What I mean by embracing curiosity is getting curious about the fellow people that you're networking with. Get really curious about what is their business, who do they help, what problems do they solve. The more that you can get an understanding of someone else's business, the more that you can see who these people help, what these people do, the better that you can insert your product or service or insert yourself as either a solution, as a resource to them, right? Or maybe vice versa. So often, I'm in the business coaching space and I'm in the business consulting space. And a lot of times I connect and network with other business coaches and other business consultants. And people look at me like, what are you doing? That doesn't make any sense, right? How can you be of value to people? Well, reality is what I do is very, very different than most business coaches and business consultants. I focus a lot on the mindset because I recognize that that's where human performance comes into play. And that's really how we create our results. So I get that the mindset needs to shift in order for the numbers to happen, for the sales to happen. Well, not a lot of business coaches and consultants focus on that. So what happens is because I embrace that curiosity, what opens up is an opportunity for both of us to help one another. So really, when you're working your network, embrace curiosity, because the more that you know and the more that you hear from your either referral partners or just others in your network, the more that you hear what it is that they do and the more questions that you ask to uncover what it is that they do, you're going to find opportunities that were never there before because it was a closed book, right? When we open the book, we can see all the pages, and some of those pages might be an opportunity for you to position yourself as a value add to them. I work with a lot of my clients in networking, that it is the biggest way that I've grown my business. I'd say 95% of my business comes through networking. And I share with them that the more that you can get curious about someone else's business, the more that you're going to work your network, the more it's going to work for you. Unfortunately, so many people think that just showing up to a networking event is enough. That awareness part is really important, right? However, we get to do the work behind the networking to really make that network work for us. And a lot of that has to do with education. A lot of that has to also do with make it super simple for your network to refer you business. Make it super simple for someone to help you. If you aren't communicating to them the value that you bring to the table, the problems that you solve, guess what's going to happen? They're going to end up mind reading. And because they mind read, they don't know how to help you. If you sit there and say, hey, a great referral for me is this. When you hear someone say this, if you could ask this, that would be a perfect opportunity to see if I'm a fit for them. So often you are surrounded by people who want to help you. Your network, people say, really is your net worth. Let's make sure that we are communicating with our network. We're educating our network. We are informing them on ways in which we can either best help them or best help their clients. So that way, when the time comes, they're open to passing the referral. Because I can guarantee you the people that are out there that are net selling, anybody here ever been net sold to? And what do we often do? I mean, the sad truth is, what do you often do with those business cards? Oftentimes they're thrown away. Reality is you have a product or service that I believe can probably transform someone's life. And if all we need to do is shift the way in which that we're approaching something, again, that paradox, if we just shifted our mindset, to that, let's focus more about them, because that's truly how I'm going to get more of what I want in life. If we just did that one thing, I can guarantee that we would have more business cards used rather than thrown away. So let's make sure that we are networking, working our network rather than net selling. And going back to the very first part, you know, when we're networking, that belief portion is so important. When we're communicating what it is that we do, who it is that we help, the problems that we solve, when we're communicating that, having that belief in ourselves, that internal confidence is what's going to resonate with people. Then when we can remember to be memorable, remember what Maya Angelou said, right? Focus on the way in which that you make people feel, articulating our value in a way that communicates into their problems, they're going to feel important. What if you started to embrace that no matter who you met, you're going to do everything you can to make them feel like the most important person in the world, because in their world, they are. So embracing that as you're out networking. And then taking that framework that I hope that you screenshotted, I hope that you took a picture of, and if not, I'm sure that I can send this to Sophia so that way she can send everyone the presentation. Taking that framework and communicating that value that you bring to the table. So that way, the people in your network, your referral partners, your prospective clients can actually hear that you are a solution to their problems. So that way you can actually get more of what you want in life through focusing and helping others. When you take all four of these and begin to really implement them, whether you're networking, whether you're at a barbecue with family, friends, whether you're out at the grocery store, it doesn't matter. The thing is that you show up to make a difference. And when people show up to make a difference, that's felt, and people get that, and you'll be memorable. And at the same time, we want to make sure that we're still communicating the value that we bring to the table. Because reality is, it's great to be memorable. However, I also know that being memorable doesn't necessarily pay the bills. So we want to make sure that we're communicating in a way that has people moving forward into our product and service, or we're communicating in a way that gets the salary bump, gets the promotion. All right. So taking these four principles and adopting these different mindsets is really going to allow you to shift that paradox, because the moment that you start focusing on others and communicating in that way, I promise you that you will get more of what you want in life. And I'm a firm believer that we deserve the things that we want in life. I truly, truly believe that. So if it's all right with everyone, I wanted to make sure that I opened up the chat, or opened up the opportunity for questions. So is it all right with everyone if I share with you my contact information and then we go into questions after that? We good?
Sounds great.
Awesome. So just in case, you know, I get that some of you might want to take this to a deeper level. Some of you might want help when it comes to articulating your value, or maybe you're even struggling with marketing yourself, communicating in that way. If that's you, when you scan this QR code, you're going to get all of my contact information. So if you have an iPhone, it's going to look exactly like that iPhone right there. And you can do social media. All my social media handles are there. My contact information is there. My email is there. So you are welcome to have it. This is actually my dot card. So I don't have business cards that I pass out. I have a handy dandy dot card, which if you want a digital card, this is like a side plug for dot. Dot is phenomenal. It's $20, very easy. Everybody loves it. It also makes me memorable at networking events because people haven't seen them before. So scan the QR code, you have all that contact information. I do have a training coming up on March 25th. So if you're interested in that, would love to share more details, but I want to make sure that I open it up for questions. And Sophia, I know that you're going to monitor the questions if there are any in the chat.